it's a spectacular museum around industry and around the development of technology going back really to the Industrial Revolution. And of course, everything that you see there, you realize in just 10 minutes you can instantly see that the history of the past several hundred years of our world is about things becoming smaller, things becoming more accessible, things becoming more affordable. And to me, the perfect example of this was the old printing presses that they had, including an example of the Gutenberg press. And you see how difficult it was to express yourself until technology made it possible, that people would have to go from writing by hand to then moving on these very expensive and difficult pieces of equipment to publish their ideas, but that was still a revolution. And now you see the press becomes smaller and less expensive and easier, and now of course anybody can have on their desk a computer and a printer, and they can accomplish more than would have been accomplished with that Gutenberg press. Now, how does that impact the world of design and art? I think what it creates, it used to be that the people who wanted their ideas, their creative expression to be propagated, someone had to look and decide that it was worth publishing because it was very expensive to publish. But in today's world, anybody can be published. Anybody who has a dream to compose music, to develop a graphic design, to write a book, even to make a film, can simply publish their own product, and the barrier to entry is so small to them. Now, this tells us that the barrier is no longer cost and technology, or even the editor who decides whether you get published or not. The barrier is actually going to be about the quality and talent of the person who wishes to express themselves. And this is how education has suddenly become, in my view, so fundamental to ensuring that this world of opportunity that has been created, this digital revolution that allows any student anywhere to make a film or a movie or write a book. Suddenly now we need to give them the education that they need so that what they produce, that music, that book, that art, that movie, that design, that fashion that they create, it actually has to be good, and they need access to great education to make that possible. And so this really helps me think that, in essence, what the role that oil had in the industrial age, I believe that is the role that education has today in the age of technology. And of course, unlike oil, education is an endlessly renewable resource. And that's what gives us, I think, such a sense of pride and commitment and responsibility, because we really can be, at Laureate, bringing this incredible renewable resource to all the countries of the world where people need it and where they need it most. So this is very important, and these are just some of the thoughts that I had about why there's such an interest in design and art all over the world. So Italian design, of course, is the leader in the world. Everybody agrees. There was very little debate about that. Maybe some of my friends in Paris would disagree, but certainly the research tells us, and this is quantifiable, our research tells us that our students, the Laureate students in 20 countries in the world, when we asked them, where would you hope to learn about art and design, they said Italy. And when we said specifically where, they said Milan. So this was very, very powerful research that told us how the world thinks about Italy and its important role. Now, I gave you a sense of the recent industrial history, and of course Italian design was really born out of that same explosion of creativity that followed the war. And this post-war industrial age created an environment in which modern Italian design ultimately was developed. And Italian design was built on an idea of modernity. And I think certainly Laureate, we believe, is equally and fundamentally focused on this concept of modernity. So for us, NABA and Domus really represent truly amongst the best in the world, and we see them as centers of excellence to help us bring this sense of Italian art and design, not art and design, but Italian art and design, to our universities all around the world, and to our students, and to our faculty, and to our research. And we see it as an incredible new resource available for Laureate, another renewable resource available to us here.